Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lin. I come from Shenzhen City, China. I have been focused on coral conservation for more than 2 years. My partner organization of my capstone project is Bluefins. Bluefins is a marine conservation NGO in China. I co-founded in 2020. In my capstone project, I want to use the citizen science method to increase the diverse participation in coral conservation. So why I am so interested in coral reefs? We often call coral reefs as rainforests of the sea. They are an important and complicated ecosystem where about 1/4 of marine species depend on them. They surprise us with goods and services. For example, seafood, recreational activities, coastal protection, and cultural benefits. But about 90% of coral reefs are predicted to be decreased due to human impacts, such as coastal infestation, climate change, overfishing, and pollution. And the coral reefs in China reflect this global trend. As we can see in the picture, the coral reefs in China are located in the transitional and marginal area of the Coral Triangle area. And Coral Triangle area is recognized as a global center of marine biodiversity and a global priority for conservation. But coral reefs in China have decreased by 80% since 1980s. Shenzhen is one of the few mainland cities that contain coral habitats. And the coral communities also have experienced severe degradation due to strong human disturbance. In Daya Bay, the area around Shenzhen, the coral coverage rate dropped from around 76% to 50% between 1980s to 2008. Because of the coral community in Shenzhen are not a priority for conservation in China, so limit scientists pay attention to the coral in Shenzhen. So there's very little data available on Shenzhen's coral. So, fortunately, the Shenzhen government is taking action to protect the marine ecosystem. For example, they are going to establish national marine park and MPAs in Shenzhen. But most of the government's plans are just a plan rather than a specific action so far. So what can I do for protecting the coral in my city? And I identified 2 problems in my city. One is we are lack of ecological information to better understand our coral degradation. Second is we lack of community engagement in coral conservation. During my research, I found that citizen science is a well-established means of addressing those 2 problems I mentioned just now. What is citizen science? Citizen science is a scientific research conducted with participation from general public. It has been successful in protecting natural resource, and the data generated from citizen science can be used by decision makers to impact policy and natural resource management. For example, there is a global citizen science program called WildTrack. The WildTrack in California contributes to improving the marine management in California MPAs. They changed the divers to collect the rocky reef systems data that change over time. So the data can contribute to the MPA's management. So in my capstone projects, I want to enlist the divers in coral conservation by using the citizen science method in order to solve those two problems. I identified 3 key objectives for achieving my goal in my capstone. First is characterizing the diving community in my city to identify the capacity for and the interest in citizen science program. The second is get a better understanding of divers' awareness of marine protection in order to decide my program to align with divers' interests. Third is to review the literature to identify the key elements for the successful program. To characterize the diving community, I decided and carry out interview with dive shop owners, and I gain an overview of local divers' characteristics in a short time. And from the interview results, I knew that divers in my city are young and mostly between the age of 18 to 35, and divers follow a seasonal pattern. They often dive in Shenzhen and in the summer and go abroad to dive in the winter. And all the dive shop owners advertise their activities and their information through WeChat, most popular social media form in China. So I think in the future, I would use WeChat as a main platform to recruit volunteers, and I will organize different activities according to the season. I implement an online service for divers to understand their marine conservation awareness, and totally I got 64 response. According to the service results, and I knew the respondents are well educated. They have a high awareness of marine conservation. Most of them join in ocean conservation activities before, and they also know that coral communities are an important marine source in my city. The survey's result provide a strong evidence that divers are good candidates for my future program, and also the information from the surveys provide a baseline information of their ocean conservation awareness. To ensure the success of my program, I assessed 9 marine citizen science programs globally by reviewing their literature and website. And I identified, and I'm trying to identify whether their practice can inform my project design. At the end, I came up with a framework for designing successful future programs with 8 necessary considerations for the future projects. And my capstone project provides a good foundation for the successful implementation of my citizen science program. And according to my work experience, NGOs with social influence can play an important role in governance policy making. Thus, over the 2 years, I have been motivating people to participate in marine conservation. And I think coral monitoring citizen science programs are one of the best ways that not only can solve the problem I mentioned, but also increase my team's social influence. Networking with dive shop owners and understanding the dive shop's distribution helped me identify the local partners for coral conservation. And during my capstone project, I met a dive shop owner called Zhen, He is very passionate about marine conservation. After the interview, after we met, we established a partnership. And recently, my team conduct a coral monitoring citizen science program with the help of divers and Zhen's Dive Shop, research institute, as well as a media group. And during this process, the Dive Shop owner Zhen provide me the training avenues for my program. The monitoring area, the coral monitoring area is includes good statute coral community with 2 coral species, including the IUCN Red List. But this area is facing some threats, such as the pier construction and careless scuba diving. So far, with the promotion of citizen science program, I found that government agencies have started noticing my team, and also some international NGO are noticing my team. For example, the government agency will ask me for coral information for promoting the conservation, for their marine conservation. They will ask me the coral information for promoting the marine conservation work for them. And the international NGO, World Wealth Fund for Nature, they asked me to have a talk about citizen science program and the statute of the coral in Shenzhen. I hope in the near future I can establish a coral conservation area where the diverse NGOs and the local community, the government can jointly manage the coral resource. That's all about my presentation. I want to thank my advisor team, Mark, Alina, Larry, and Wu Ying. And they not only offer me the help of my Capstone project, but I always get the inspiration from them for my future career. And I also want to thank Anne and Sarah for helping me with my remote study in CSP. I want to thank my team Bluefins, as well as my cohort. Thank you so much. I think I cannot finish my capstone project. I cannot finish my capstone project without all of your help. Thank you so much.